Hey, how you doing, guys? This is Richie. So I was looking through the boxes, and I pulled these out, and this came out at least a year ago. Predator vs. Wolverine. I gotta admit, I haven't really been much of a Marvel guy these days. Their quality has really took a nosedive over the last 10 years due to various reasons that I won't even bother going into. But this was a fun story. I'm a fan of Predator. I'm a fan of Wolverine since I was a kid. And I said, let me pick this up. I think the guy in my LCS said it was a fun read. And that's basically what it is. It's not going to win any Eisners, but it was an interesting read. I liked it. I enjoyed it. It was fun. So it's about, you know how since Wolverine is so old and his memory's so skedaddled that you can write all kinds of stories over 200 years or so, however long he's been alive. But this was his story of meeting up with the Predator. Now, I believe this is Ken Lashley on the art. I think they break it down into future, past, present, all different artists. But I think this right here is Ken Lashley. So it starts off where he's fighting with the Predator. I believe this is present day. Here we go. Yeah, it's written by Benjamin Piercy. Present day is Ken Lashley, Greg Land, and Jay Listener for the young Wolverine, and Andrea DeVito for when Team X story pops up. Color artist Juan Fernandez, Frank Darmata. Daramata. So here's the young Wolverine. And it just shows Predator showing up like they usually do, in their spaceships. Looking for something to hunt. And Wolverine comes across this guy who wants to hire him. Now he feels like some guys are going to rob him, so he wants to be Wolverine. He wants Wolverine to be his protection. Wolverine beats up a couple guys in the bar. Guy loves what he sees, hires him. So off they go into the winter wilderness. This is a really cool panel. And so he's out, looks like he's just playing around, killing deer and just doing hunting stuff. He's bored. Obviously, he's bored. He's killing killer whales, bobcats. There's a predator having fun in the snow. So Wolverine and his new employer come across this in the woods. Now, obviously, the Predator killed some people. Here's that deer, and they skin them and then pull the spines. So these guys are in the cabin, and Wolverine goes after them thinking they did it. So he goes in there and kills them all. And then this guy, the employer, blasts him from behind. He said, well, I suppose they're all my boys in a way. They were all scamps and orphans like you. I hired them to do jobs for me. Nothing like that nasty bit of business in the woods. That was some enterprising freelancer. But I did commission a railroad robbery from them. The pay card contained $20,000 in cash and bonds. So he hired these other guys to rob a train and then hired Wolverine to kill them so he could get the whole thing. Sneaky stuff. Sneaky Wild Wild West stuff. But what he didn't count on was getting blasted in the head by a Predator's laser beam. And this was Wolverine and the Predator's first encounter, which will be many over the years. So they both got each other pretty good, and they both heal in his natural healing. And then, the Predator, they shoot themselves with that stuff that heals them. And off into the snow they go. And Wolverine is now the hunted. So, by luck, he went near a bear cave and boom, he grabbed the Predator. And he took his weapon, but he winds up killing the bear. Then, fast forward, this is Team X. Now, this is later on when Wolverine has his adamantium. There's the guy from Weapon X. Is that the professor? Yeah, because of Professor Thornton. So they send these guys out in the woods to kill some drug dealers, and sure enough, there's the sign of the Predator again, bodies hanging upside down. He's also with Sabretooth and a couple other people. So next thing you know, there's a few Predators. And then that's where it ends. Next up, hunting party. So that's issue number 1. Issue, out of sorts. Man, I gotta learn to do editing. Chop these videos up a little bit. Take out all my stuttering and heavy breathing and mistakes, general mistakes. So here we are. Number 2, still the same lineup. Benjamin Piercy, Ken Lashley, DeVito. And it kind of starts the same way. Here's the modern day, where Predator and Wolverine are going at it. Man, Ken Lashley is really good. I like this. This is really good cartooning here. So they're still going at it from before now, but Wolverine's sinking with a rock on top of him in either a lake or an ocean. Back to Project X, Team X. So now there's several Predators, and there's 4 of these guys, and they fight back pretty well. You got Sabretooth and Wolverine, and Sabretooth is just a maniac. He gets stabbed through the heart from behind, but he kills his buddy by pulling him onto the spear too. So that Predator is done. That's great. Look at that. The coloring is nice too. Now they're going into panic mode. They think Sabretooth is down. So the Predator's chasing them. And they're nervous. Boom, another one. Shot him in the head. So they go into this, I guess it's some kind of Aztec tomb. Oh, he gives the guy a mercy killing. He gives his Predator buddy, takes him out. So, they're in this tomb and it's filled with explosives. And it turns out the Peruvians or drug lords or whoever they were that they were sent to take out are also holed up down there. So they make an uneasy truce. And here come the Predators with their high-tech weaponry. And Wolverine and the other guys blow the place up. And take most of them out, except for one survives. Alberta, Canada. All right. Next up, issue number 3. Canada Now. Now this is still the same fight, the present day fight between Predator and the Wolverine. This is the same Predator that's been hunting them for years. Same artists, pretty much. So, Weapon X facility now. The Predator had gotten into the facility when they were filling him up with adamantium. He opens up his rib cage and sees. But he's defenseless until he wakes up. Stabs the Predator, and he shoots like this dissolvent into his face, into his mouth, and it literally dissolves his head. He wants his skull, but it's adamantium, so he takes the whole body and he brings it to his ship. And look at all the skulls. I don't see any aliens in there. I believe, Marvel's got the alien license too. I'm surprised they didn't throw an alien head in there. So anyway, they take off. Now his healing factor's kicking in. So he's coming back to, and he decides to just cut his way out the side of the building, out of the spaceship, and jumps right out. And he catches on fire because of the heavy friction. Boom. Lands in a little crater here, but here comes the professor to pick him up because they've been tracking him. And he also finds a Predator helmet. Here's the Predator helmet, and I like how they tie it into, when they reverse engineered it, they used it to control Wolverine, like a similar product from reverse engineering, kind of like what the Chinese do to almost everything. So now the Predator's still tracking him. After Wolverine gets out of Weapon X, he's got the helmet. The old Predator helmet. Now he's in Japan, and he's learning how to be a samurai, or to fight like a samurai. So it's him and his buddy here. And then, bang, here comes the Predator. That's a great last page. I like that a lot. Good stuff. Yeah, I think this was last year. A year and a half ago this all came out, I think. Not 100 on that. Final issue. Beginning again. Ken Lashley. Great artwork. So the Predator who lost his helmet is now just wearing a skull of one of the creatures he's killed. Because he's, it's crazy. That's nice. That's very nice. So he leaves it for him. He lets him have it. And he's got it back, so he thinks he's like won some type of medal. And we go back in time to the Predator showing up during the samurai training. So the teacher will not get involved. He wants him one-on-one. He wants them to fight it out and for Wolverine to prove that he has a samurai spirit. And a couple pages of fight scenes. And all of a sudden, he becomes invisible and leaves. Right in the middle of a battle, and they're wondering what's going on. But then they see the hand showed up. And the Predator he wanted it to be mano-a-mano. All right, the past. They're at the what's the house where the X-Men are? Xavier's house, Xavier's school. And the Predators tracked them there. So they're worried about all the kids and the younger mutants that wouldn't be able to handle Predators. So Wolverine's telling them all, stay away from me if you get involved. He won't stop until you're dead too. So he lets him, he's about to kill, what's her name? Rogue? And the Predator wants him in captivity. So he allows him to save the people. He allows him to walk out of there in cuffs. But it turns out it's Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler's there, and who was it, Rogue? One of the ones that change, whatever. Present day. They're still fighting, so he plucks out, he damaged one of his eyes and he left, I gave him a blind eye. The mud was my primitive version of a cloaking device, just like Arnold. And he snuck up behind him. He distracted him with the eye. Stabbed him. And then there they go. Fighting it out. But the Predator knows he can't win. So he activates his, that explosive device on his arm. And thinks he's going to win by taking him out. But Wolverine knows he'll survive it. Sure enough, after he heals up from this mini nuke, at least he left me a dangerous trophy. I see my reflection in its blade. I remember its keen edge every day of my damned life. And that was the end. All right. So, a fun little romp through Wolverine land. I enjoyed it. Like I said, it's not going to win Eisner's, or I don't know what wins Eisner's these days, so I don't think the standard's that high anymore, but cool stuff. It's a fun read. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you later.